Live now on the Sky News Election Channel.
Around the world are in mourning after the absolutely terrible and senseless attack in Orlando. We deplore and we condemn this absolutely horrific attack, and our hearts go out to the families and friends of the victims. Life does go on, and so I'm happy to take questions.
Your side is today pledging $1 billion for the reef. How can you be serious about protecting the reef if there's nothing being done about reducing coal exports and coal emissions?
Well, we are serious about protecting the reef. The reef is obviously, the health of the reef is very important for, in particular, the tourism industry in Queensland. I mean, the announcement that the Prime Minister and Minister Hunt have made this morning of $1 billion investment into into further initiatives to improve the health of the reef is a very significant investment indeed. And I mean, if you look, it comes on top of all of the other initiatives that we've taken in recent years. Well, I mean, you know, we believe that in Australia we are able to pursue important exports such as the export of coal, as well as being able to obviously ensure that a great world heritage, a great piece of world heritage like the Great Barrier Reef can be in strong health. I mean, that is our track record. If you look at what the World Heritage Council has said about our initiatives to ensure that the Great Barrier Reef is strong and healthy, well, I mean, obviously they've given us the tick of approval when they looked at all of the things that are being done to manage the reef in recent years.
Labor has said that it's likely to run for new tickets for preferences in South Australia. Are you worried about Nixon and Colin getting up in the new seats?
Well, what the Labor Party does with their preferences is a matter for them. What we would say, our focus is totally on making sure that we can have a good and stable government on the other side of the election, a good and stable government delivering our national economic plan for jobs and growth. What we say to the Australian people is the last thing Australia needs at this time, as we continue to face global economic headwinds, as we continue to work through the transition in our economy. The last thing we need is political instability. The last thing we need is a return to a hung parliament. The last thing we need is a return to the bad old days of a Labor-Green independent alliance in the parliament. So that is why we've made the decisions that we've made when it comes to preferences. That is why we've decided to preference the Greens behind Labor. Because our focus is on strong and stable government after the election, so that we can continue to do what needs to be done to put Australia on the strongest possible economic foundation for the future.
Minister, should authorities release the latest cost-benefit analysis for the Townsville Stadium before the federal government and Labor is throwing money at the project?
Well, what we're doing is working with the local and state government in Queensland on a broader plan for the whole precinct. I mean, this is part, I mean, what the Prime Minister will be announcing later today, and he'll have some more to say about this, is part of a broader city's agenda. And, you know, obviously, instead of just, as you say, throwing money at a stadium, what we're focusing on is on how we can have a proper integrated plan for the whole city precinct area as part of a broader city's agenda.
Labor's proposing to have plebiscites in New South Wales about council amalgamations. What do you think of that, and do you think it's a good idea to give people a say in whether or not their councils are amalgamated?
Well, what I would say is that Bill Shorten is incredibly hypocritical. When he was being asked to stand shoulder to shoulder with the firefighter volunteers of Victoria, he did a runner. He said that this is a state issue. He was nowhere to be seen. Because of course it would have meant standing up for the public interest against his friends in the union movement. On this occasion, you know, what Bill Shorten is proposing to do is to throw some money around. That's not going to make any difference, because before a plebiscite, after a plebiscite, the situation will be exactly the same as before the plebiscite, and that is that this is a matter for the state government in New South Wales to decide. The state government in New South Wales, elected by the people of New South Wales, makes these sorts of decisions, and that is the same situation after plebiscite if it were to happen as what it is before plebiscite. It would make absolutely no difference whatsoever.
Could you tell us what the other amounts paid from paraphilia to the Liberal Party are? And will you deny reports that those are payments for training provided by Liberal staffers?
Obviously, questions in relation to organisational matters should be put to the organisation. I think I said that last week.
The organisation's hardly answering questions at all.
This is entirely, well, I've actually been reading comments from the organisation in relation to these matters, so I mean, these are most appropriately addressed to the organisation.
But have any of your staffers provided training that was then invoiced to paraphilia?
Any questions in relation to paraphilia have to be put to the organisation.
Does the Liberal Party need stronger checks and balances on its candidates in the wake of revelations that a Liberal candidate in Melbourne ends up blocking?
We've got a very large group of very good, very strong candidates right across Australia putting themselves forward for election. In relation to the matter you raised, very quick action was taken once this information came to light. Thank you.